Hi, thank you for watching. My name is Anita Teresa. I'm the founder of The Embodied Femme. I'm here with Cynthia Okimoto, who's a dear friend and colleague, and founder of Be the It Girl. And we're both excited to share with you in dialogue today a little bit about the new feminine paradigm, what that means for women like you who want to actualize their full potential. So that is why I'm offering later in the week a course for women focusing on development of all different areas of your life. And Cynthia is going to be one of our guest presenters. I'm very excited to have this opportunity to give you a little sense of what we'll be talking about and sharing what you can learn from the teleclass. So I want to start off with a question to you, Cynthia, because you and I actually met through a spiritual school that we were studying with some unique, unusual teachers that are kind of out of the mainstream. And we focused really on a lot on feminine development in particular. And this had an enormous impact on my life in every way. I've done a lot of yoga and I've studied many other traditions, but to really focus in on feminine development as a path of actualization was something quite extraordinary for me, and I want to share that with other women. And I know that you do as well, and you are in your own way. So I also want to preface the question that that you've been an inspiration to me in terms of my own development as an entrepreneur, because it's been actually a year to the day since I left my job and at a hospital, and I was working as integrative health educator at the time. And now I'm doing a lot of this work with women and teaching and facilitating workshops and classes. And you started, your business in 2010. It's really taken off. You've been flourishing. You've created so many different projects, and I'm excited. It's just been a huge inspiration. I think you're also a great model for other women to also pursue their dreams, to be persistent, and not to have to sacrifice being feminine or give up anything or burn out, to really learn how to balance all of that. Oops, it looks like we lost you. Are you there, Cynthia? Hope you can call back in. So it looks like I just lost the signal with Cynthia, but I will continue to share that basically the path of feminine development is something that is, I believe, bubbling up. It's becoming more and more available. Women women in this time basically have access to more knowledge than they have in the past, and specific knowledge to what works for their bodies, what works for their spiritual exponential development, what works in terms of learning a new relationship to our bodies, building our value, building our self-worth, and learning how to actualize our full potential. So all of this, it seems to be bubbling in the air. It's like the ethos of what I call the new feminine paradigm. And the new feminine paradigm is basically this way of saying, let's include all parts of ourselves in our development. Let's actually be leaders on our own terms, instead of following an old model that may be more useful and more helpful for men in leadership. But now we have this model of feminine leadership that's based on collaboration and consensus, on distribution, on inclusion, everybody having enough. Everybody has enough. Everybody can be included in the bounty and the abundance of this planet, and no one has to be left out. So I believe that when we're operating out of that principle, that our health takes off, our relationships become better quality, deeper, more ecstatic, more fulfilling. Our relationship to our sexuality is enhanced. We get to repair that disconnect in our mental construct between sexuality and spirituality. We get to actually bring them together and merge them and say, this path of awakening includes our sexuality. It's not left in the shadows. So I lost you, Cynthia. I'm glad you're back. I was just continuing to share up with our audience about the new feminine paradigm, and so it's perfect timing for you to come back on. But I am really curious to hear from your perspective what you think is the most important thing that you've learned specifically from working on feminine development, like developing yourself with these practices and tools that we're going to be sharing in the course. So what's one or two things that you feel are the most important that you've learned?
I would say that the most important things that I learned from all of the feminine development work is the importance of acknowledging the fact that I have a body of a woman. Like I was, like we have males and we have females, and I always grew up in a very hung out in very progressive communities where it's just, I'm just a person. I'm not um, I'm a person before I'm my gender, before I'm my ethnicity, before I'm where I come from. And so, without realizing it, I really squelched that female part of myself. And um, I do view the genders as equal, and yet it wasn't until I started to acknowledge that yes, I am a female. What does that mean? And just explore that. That's when my life really started to change. When I acknowledged that I was, it sounds weird, but when I acknowledged that I was a woman in a woman's body, that's really, and then how to develop those parts of me that were barely even alive at that point. That's when my life started to change. That's when I saw that things could be, that I could operate from a different space, and that space was that of femininity. It's really interesting. I remember I was working with one of our mutual colleagues in the city, and we were doing a practice to actualize our feminine energy, and she's like, "Do you feel that?" I'm like, "No, what are you talking about? I've never felt that before." She's like, "What you're feeling is your feminine energy." And I was like, "Really? What?" And I just remember like that was such a strange sensation, and yet now, looking back on it, I realized that that was really just acknowledging it and activating it was really a key starting off point for me to live my life from my feminine space, as opposed to just my human space. When you add the femininity in when you're a woman, it's magical.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree, and I see that too in a lot of women who start to. It's like they start to blossom, and
Hmm.
their whole range of expression suddenly opens up, as
Hmm.
opposed to just one little bandwidth. One part of the bandwidth.
Hmm.
Like because I think in academia and in schooling in general, it's like women and men or boys and girls are put in this little tiny box of what we're allowed to express, but it's so much. There's so much more range,
Hmm.
and it's that's why I love seeing women who are feminine, who embrace their femininity, and who are just badass. Who really kick ass, and they go out and they do what they want, and they have it all in their own terms. Maybe it's over a lifetime, but they are about like I can be feminine, I can be gorgeous, I can be sexy and sensual, I can be intellectual, I can be a kick ass mom, a great lover, I can be a great businesswoman, and why do I have to sacrifice one or the other? Why do I have to um, give up or put myself into one role? And I think that takes the pressure off of women who feel like, well, I should have it all, I should be everything to everyone, and I should have this great career and a great family life. It's not about the pressure anymore. It's about like I get to be all these things.
Hmm.
It's all there. It's about developing the capacity to be able to hold all of that at once. And like what we learned in school was to be able to shift from one energy state to another with
Hmm.
because we're not overly identified with any of those roles. It's just tapping into the energy that's there for any one of those expressions. So that's another, I think, really valuable distinction in the work that I got out of our training was and what I want to share with other women is like it's not about I have to do it all or I have to have it all. I have to appear to be all together and have it all be working. It's more like I get to choose how to direct my energy. I
Hmm.
get I get to cultivate this creative life force energy, which is really sexual energy,
Hmm.
whatever I want to create, and that includes and it necessitates the creation of our own self.
Hmm.
That's what was so exciting to me about the the feminine development work, and what I want to share with women is like we get to just create ourselves. How fun is that? you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I really enjoy our conversations, Anita, because I really love the vocabulary that you use, and I think it's really important for women to pay attention to the words that they use. You say things like, you get to be creative versus you have to. And a lot of times what happens is we don't pay attention to um, the way we program our own subconscious. And really, it's about choice, right? It's about what you allow yourself to do every day, what you choose to allow to show up. And a lot of times when we are in our masculine energy more than our feminine energy, it's I have to do this, I'm going to do this, and it's very direct. And that's okay sometimes too. But as women, a lot of times our lives can become easier and more fun and more of an invitation to others, which is the inspiration aspect that you were talking about in the beginning, when we allow other people to contribute to us, when we allow ourselves to be creative, and when we allow this energy, this feminine energy that we've cultivated within ourselves to be gently directed to where we see fit at the exact time. So maybe on one day you're going to be focusing a little bit more on nurturing your friendships and on a business plan, and wherever else the universe is going to take you. The masculine, of course, would be I'm going to do a to-do list. It's going to have 7 things. I'm going to get them accomplished today, no matter what. And the feminine would be, I wonder what beautiful things can show up in my life today. I wonder who I can play with, who is going to contribute to my life, and I wonder who I can contribute to today. So I just wanted to acknowledge you, Anita, for your beautiful, beautiful words with get to and creativity and allow, because it's very, very important for women. Just those small subtleties are very, very powerful and completely rearranging how we show up in the different areas of our lives.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we all, every woman has some natural inclination or strength, and then every woman also has areas that can be cultivated, and that's what's exciting to me is that we all have this potential to develop ourselves and become what I call the total woman.
Mm-hmm.
Not like there's no standard and there's no judgment. It's just simply like the joy of being able to cultivate all these aspects and to like to pull the mystery card one day,
Mm-hmm.
pull the warrior, the female warrior card, and
Mm-hmm.
to then to create from those spaces, because like we don't have to be stuck in one mode all the time. That's what's so fun. Also for me about being an entrepreneur is I get to create different ways of showing up for myself, for my clients, in the way that I create classes and workshops and events. And I think that is a very magnetic thing about femininity. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
what way is it going to show up today? That's the essence of creativity.
Mm-hmm.
You have to just be, it's not static, it's dynamic. It's so dynamic, and it's the urge to thrive and the urge to manifest, to find different forms and different vehicles of expression. And our bodies, I think being connected to our bodies as women is key. It's where it all starts. And I'm curious how you found as you deepened your connection to your body through the practices, how you feel and perceive that impacted your success in every area, not just in your business, but in your relationships, in your health. How did that? Just a few words about how you saw that impacting your life.
Sure, absolutely. When I first started my first company, it's interesting because I flipped back and forth between having my dominant role or my dominant energy being masculine and feminine. And when I first started out with my business, it was actually something. It was like a divine, what I call a divine download. And I was on the subway. I was wondering what I was going to do with my life, and I was really open at that point because I wanted to do like 50,000 things, and I knew I had to just make one of them happen before the others. So I should say, allow one of them to happen before one of the others. So I felt that I was really, because I was in that receptive mode, because I was open, because I was in my feminine, for the first 8 months to a year of my business, I was co-conspiring with the universe. I would constantly just be wondering, well, like, what else can I do today, and how can I grow my business? And I was just constantly in a state of appreciation and wonder. And I think that those are two very, very high spaces to be in. And I know that Esther Hicks and a lot of the really great writers of energy work always talk about the highest state of being one of appreciation and gratitude, and then also to just being open to what else is possible, and as opposed to you have your agenda and you're going to get it done. So I would say the first year, year and a half, I was very much in the feminine. And then for the next year and a half, I switched into masculine mode, not even realizing it, because I just, like, certain things happened, and I became very masculine. And there was an immediate shift in what was going on with my business. It became things like, well, if I'm gonna keep my shop open, I need to make, this amount of money, which means, it just became like these really hard, quantifiable objectives that if they didn't get done, then, I was a failure, and my business, wasn't going to be successful, as opposed to just allowing the universe to continue to gift me opportunities the way it had the first year and a half. And so I actually made a couple of videos on YouTube, and I found myself watching them about 6 months ago, and I had tips like, what are 3 things that you can do to, as a woman, to co-conspire with the universe, or, develop your self-care. And I found myself watching those videos genuinely wondering what it was that, I was intrigued by what I had created, and getting advice from, like, my past self. It was like an Austin Powers moment. I loved it completely. And I'm shifting back into a even deeper connection with my femininity. But I learned that masculine mode doesn't work, or strictly being in masculine mode doesn't work. And I'll share with you a couple of things that I guess what I would quantify as, like, things just weren't working out because I was so set on my targets and my objectives, and I wasn't co-creating with the universe anymore. And I can't specifically say what that one turning point was where I said, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to, I shut off the universe. But there definitely was a point when I made that decision. And I believe, kind of looking back on it now, that whenever that was, my life definitely became harder. And I was working longer hours. I was working hard and not smart, and not from my feminine. And when I came back to incorporating my body, back to, the hardcore self-care as a woman, that's when I started to see the shifts happening, and when I allowed myself to really be more in touch with my business, with my clients, with what truly fulfilled me. That's when my business started to turn back around and have this amazing comeback.
That's brilliant. Yeah, it's inspiring to hear that, because I think we can all get, I mean, for me, I have to work on actually becoming, increasing the masculine more. As I can be so feminine, it's like, woo, and it's all creativity, and that it does work to a large extent, but having the balance ultimately, and just, it's the integration process. So I think every woman has some area where it's just out of balance, and we can come more into balance, whether it's with your health or connection to your body. Having support is the main thing. I think that's really why I'm offering this course, and why I'll continue to do things in the future for women, is when you have that support and you have a reminder, and then you're also given permission, and you start to give yourself permission to take that time in the morning to your practice, and to stop throughout the day if you need to stop and take a break and breathe, and to do things that are going to nourish your health so it's on the highest possible level.
Hmm.
So that it's, and it, for me, I mean, I've stopped, I don't really, I hardly ever drink anything with caffeine. It's more like a natural, sustained levels of energy through the Qigong practices I do, through the diet and nutrition I have, and through the like almost ruthless commitment to self-care. It's like I have to be sometimes just shut everything out and say, no, I'm not going to answer the phone. I'm not going to open my computer right now. I'm going to lie down and breathe, and just when you have that support and you start to weave it into your life, I think that's what makes the long-term difference. So I'd love to share a little bit more about the course and also give you a chance to share what you're going to be presenting during the course. And just for those of you who are watching who are considering, that it's a 6-week teleclass for women, I'll be giving a lot of information, a lot of knowledge and practices and tools that you can incorporate into your life now, starting from the very first class. There are things practical tips you're going to get. And a lot of it is foundational knowledge that you can use for the rest of your life. So really the value is, it's invaluable. What I've gained from this knowledge has been invaluable. And this course really is a foundation for those of you who haven't had access to specifically just feminine development work, but you've done, transformational work before, you've been working on yourself, you've done other stuff. This is going to take you to the next level as a woman. You don't have to, cover up and try to hide your femininity anymore. We can be all of it and be spiritual and be successful. Everything that we all want is possible. So each week we're going to highlight a different topic. We're going to go through health. We're going to go through sexuality. We're going to go through practices for maintaining high levels of energy. We'll talk about different aspects of the body, including things like breast massage to prevent breast cancer, things like herbs, things like practices and knowledge around relationships, and basically things that every woman is going to get you're going to get a lot from, but you'll definitely get something that you may need specific support on. So that's why I'm also offering during the course a 30-minute one-on-one call to really look at specifically where you feel blocked and where you'd like more support. And Cynthia, you're going to be coming on, I think, in the 3rd week to share about how to keep your energy level high, and that includes also your emotional state, your mental state, your physical state, because all connected. So do you want to share a little bit about what you're going to be presenting on that week?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Anita. It is really, really, really important for us as women to be able to cultivate, maintain, and continually live from our highest vibrations. And what I'm going to be presenting on are the key ways that most women lose energy. And then in addition to that, I'll be channeling some very specific practices for those of you who sign up for the call. So it's really important. So your individual participation in the call and us collectively, I'm going to channel in some specific practices for all the women in the group. So it's going to be completely unique. It's never going to be anywhere else on the internet. It's not going to be with any other presenter. It's just going to be specifically for the women on this call to be able to use these specific practices. I'm feeling like it's going to be about 3 of them on how this group of women can release energy that's holding them back, cultivate their own individual energy when it starts to get lower, and then maintain that energy throughout the day. I think, Anita, one of the most important things that is going to really support this energy level and that you're going to be sharing with the women throughout the course is, that stuff with the body. And it's, I cannot emphasize enough the importance of connecting with yourself in a feminine way. And that's why I love the work that you do. My work is very complementary to what you do in the sense that It's going to be, it's specifically for women, and I'm just so excited that it's going to be so unique to the women on this call, because it's really nice to get something that's very specific. I have a lot of stuff out there on YouTube, where it's for groups of women, and this is really just for these women who have, connected with you, or who've had the desire to connect with you and just haven't gone ahead and committed to themselves to go ahead and sign up for this class. And I really encourage everyone to go ahead and ask, what's the energy of my life as a woman if I sign up for this call? What is this investment in my body and my present and my future? And what are those emotional qualities that I would love to live my life from? I know for me, it's really it's ease, it's grace, and it's abundance. And it's this light, expansive energy. So if anything that we've shared in this call has ignited something within you that says, yes, I want what these women have. Yes, I would like to have some more joy in my life. Yes, I would like to have more abundance. Yes, I would like to have it all on my terms and conditions. And just ask yourself, how does this feel in my body? What does a yes feel like to me? What does a hell yes feel like to me? It's important to have those distinctions. And I know, Anita, that a lot of these women who are making that commitment right now to themselves, that they want to know with more confidence and from their deepest, darkest knowing, that they want to develop as women, that they would like more in their lives. And if they're still on the fence, what is it about their body that is giving them mixed messages? So somewhere in your body, if this course is for you or if it's for a later time. But I think every woman knows that she could use a little bit more ease, a little bit more grace, and more abundance, and that connection with her body, to know, because we, as women, we have that strong intuition, we have that sixth sense naturally to us. And you and I have both worked very, very diligently over the last, what is it, like 6-7 years now, to cultivate what is our yes, what is our no, and how to make refined those processes within ourselves and in the groups that we lead of women to get more and more closer to our own yes and our own no for those important decisions. So I'll be going over some unique things specifically for the women who are signing up for this call today, and I really look forward to connecting with all of you on that third call.
Yay! Thank you. Very eloquently put. So if that didn't inspire you to sign up, I just want to offer my heartfelt invitation to each of you who are considering joining this. This is actually the first time that I'm putting this knowledge into this format. So it's a virtual platform. You can call in from a phone or from the web, and you can access it from almost anywhere in the world, which is nice. The recordings are going to be all saved, so for those of you who are participating, you get access to the recordings, even if you miss a class, the live class. And I've participated in webinars before, and I've listened to things over and over, because it's such a gem to be able to have that access to that knowledge even after the class is done. So I want to invite you to join. The link to sign up is below. And we look for it starting this coming Tuesday, 8 to 9 Eastern Standard Time. The cost is $125. If you register and a friend comes through you, you also get $15 off. So bring a friend. And we look forward to joining you on this awesome journey of self-development as a woman and really blossoming into your full potential. So thank you so much, and thank you, Cynthia, for being here today.
Anita, just one more thing that just came through for me right now. I would really like to, I don't know the exact number of women who have already signed up, but I would like to make an offer because I know that you mentioned that you said if you sign up with a friend, and previously you spoke about community, and I know for myself, having different women who are active in their feminine development, it's very, very, very important. So go ahead and invite a girlfriend. And for those of you, should we say maybe the first 10-15 callers who sign up today, or should we give them a deadline? I would be willing to go ahead and do a free 30-minute consultation for them for how they can remove the 3 barriers that are preventing them from actualizing more of their feminine energy
Hmm.
in there.
Offer. Yeah, why don't we extend it through the through Monday, and if you can
Perfect.
sign up by Monday, you also get this bonus 30-minute consultation. It's awesome. I've done consultations with Cynthia, and they're amazing, amazing. You don't want to miss this. So you're getting a lot here for actually a really reasonable price, and I hope you all join. So sign up. Yay!
All right. Thanks, Anita. And I'll see you guys on the call.
Okay.